Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. It's just my luck that I need to go to a different hostel when it starts pouring like this. That's my luck usually. The one thing I didn't expect, just like my credit card's not working, just like I ran into the conflict with the other. I still think my roommate hid my passport to try to cause me trouble at the other hotel. Oh man, so this is why I like to sing the Peter Dislike Show because all of the rare events that are not supposed to happen to me always do. Right? The one thing I didn't expect always trips me up. I first noticed this when I was working on my PhD. I would get ready for a meeting with my PhD advisor. I had a big fear of my PhD advisor. And I would prepare 10 questions that she might ask me, have beautiful answers to them, but she would ask the 11th question, the one that I didn't think of. Always, always, no matter how well prepared I was. And I started listening to you guys may have guessed from my opening theme that I'm a big fan of Peter Schiff, Schiff. I started listening to him about 10 years ago. I thought his show was very well named because it sounded like the Peter Shit Show, and I would sing along with him when the show would come on. I had gone home to my family during Thanksgiving, and I had turned on an episode of the Peter Shit Show, and I sang along with him. The Peter Shit Show. And my dad was really upset. He said that, well, first he thought it was some kind of sexual humor. He didn't want me listening to that in front of my brother. And when I explained to him that it was a financial shit show, talking about upcoming recession and all that, he didn't think that was appropriate for Thanksgiving dinner either. And so I liked his opening theme so much that I decided to adopt his opening theme. And so I started getting a lot of dislikes. But I like singing Peter Dislike Show even better because I've learned that in life, a lot of times, whether or not you succeed at your career, in relationships, and all that, isn't so much whether you are right or wrong, it's whether or not your views are popular, right? So, for example, I often complain bitterly that my colleagues get preferential treatment because people are more understanding of them taking care of their family. Right now, as we speak, there's a lot of discussion on maternity leave. I would argue that where I work right now, they do very well with maternity leave, which is a great thing. I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem is that there's no let's imagine I haven't gotten to that point yet. How do you think my work would take it if I asked for some sort of dating leave, right? Imagine there's an event on Friday and I want to leave a little bit early, right? Like a speed dating event, or after I met somebody to go out with them, but unfortunately they're only available on a Tuesday where I have to teach. I don't think that would go down nearly as well as the maternity leave, right? I mean, I could probably get it, but there's still quite a differential in our societal views, I would argue. And well, that's one example. A lot of times, just my views are not exactly popular, right? So I often, for what amounts to the same amount of ask, I get less preferential treatment, right? So when I was teaching at the tutoring center, my boss scheduled me during my anniversary, and meanwhile, my colleagues got away to go to. One of my colleagues took his kids to Disney World. Another one, he had a younger sister who had some kind of birthday celebration, and right, and why? Just because my anniversary was a little bit different. That's what I mean by Peter dislike. I live my life like a dislike. The other analogy I like to give is that you guys know that I love collecting medals, and some of the medals are way more beautiful than gold, rarer, and somehow society dislikes them. Right? I feel like a piece of bismuth or tin in a sea of silver and gold, right? I might have useful properties, but society hasn't seen them yet, right? That's another analogy I like to give. Um, I was just thinking, I don't feel this way anymore, but I was thinking one day when I have that wedding ceremony with myself, I gotta make all my wedding jewelry out of exotic metals that society dislikes, right? Because that's a good symbol for how I feel treated for my relationship with myself. Right? I still have a relationship with myself. I don't consider it a marriage anymore. So that's why I call myself the Peter Dislike Show, because I've learned the hard way that there's less of a right or wrong in society and more of a right or left in our society. And if you're on the wrong side of that equation, you lose, no matter how right or wrong you are. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.